whenever you come across this particular tarot reading, this is going to be the confirmation that you need because you've been knowing, you've been feeling like this is going to come in. Now, it's interesting. I did leave this on here where I have a 7-year-old. We went to the jump park and it says observer. You might be playing the observer. Someone may also be observing you. Now, what we have here is that somebody's going to make some sort of proposal, peace offering, okay? They want to apologize. We have apology, forgiveness, return, and sorry. Where there's someone that is very sorry about partaking or maybe even starting some sort of gossip. It could have been something along the lines of, they were in a conversation or even in the same room, where for some of you, they may have not quite said anything, but it was the kind of situation of, whoa, you're really close to me. Why are you in this room? Why are you in this conversation of this kind of talk regarding me? This could also be just someone, who was just petty, okay? Where it says petty conversation, spreading rumors, gossip, making you the fool. There is someone, though, who wants to say sorry. They want to make some sort of proposal, peace offering. They want to have a conversation with you. All right. And this is going to be for all zodiac signs. So again, the reading is general and timeless. You could be any zodiac sign. And if you would like a personal tarot reading, a private one-on-one session with me, or to join our Patreon for early access to channel members' videos, free workshops, mystery school teachings, and more, check out that box below. You can go to 144bluerosetemple.com. Now, let's see what comes through here for the collective today. This is the confirmation you need to hear right now. So again, you're watching this because you feel it, you sense it, you know it. Or if this person's still in your life, they've been acting a little bit different. What do we have for the collective today? This is the confirmation you need to hear today. Why do we have call, proposal, apology, gossip? Why do we have call, proposal, apology, gossip? It's about the big picture here. And that may be the perspective that you're coming from. Now, we do have the Dragon's Duel, inner conflict, morality, conscious choice, where with these cards so far, I don't know if you're going to take this person back. It's the kind of thing of like, well, this was a conscious choice. We all have choices, and you didn't have to make that choice. We do have the River, Queen, or King, flow, letting go, natural movement. So you let things just naturally kind of fall out between you and this person. And then we have the big picture, angelic help. I'm going to grab this deck. For this reading today, for all zodiac signs, this is the confirmation you need to hear right now. We do have angel of love. Why do we have flow, letting go, natural movement, the big picture? Look at this on the heart too. Like it just hit me on the heart, and look at the heart. Look at that. It does say patience. All right. Where for some of you, you were very patient with this person, and I say it like that because you could have done a lot of different things in this situation, and you didn't do anything. That's the key thing in here in this reading. You didn't actually seek vengeance of your own. You let everything go by natural movement. You're like, you know what? I'm going to just walk away. Yeah, where you were even patient, though, with this person. But do not mistake someone's kindness for weakness is what's going on in this reading here, too. Where for you, this person is lucky. Like, I almost want to say, like, they're really lucky. Really lucky. This could have gone way differently, but you chose love. You didn't choose violence today. Not with this person here. Everything happened naturally. Again, you sought no form of vengeance against this person. And I will say, like, they kind of said some things. They said some things where it's like, whoa, are you talking about me like that? Or like, for some of you, it says spreading rumors and petty conversations where it's just like, well, that's not even true. And yeah, this person was kind of lucky. not that like it's lucky. Everybody should come from that place anyway in dealing with conflict, but they're lucky because it could have gone a whole different way. And this person is very sorry, but it feels like the bigger picture here is just like, but it's the principle behind things. So let's see what comes out with the tarot. But I will say, it seems like from your perspective, it's like the principle behind it. What that cost me, for some of you say gossip, right? Spreading rumors, petty conversations, that's defamation, And then beyond that, mentally, emotionally, right? Like, you went through a lot because of this person's gossip and petty conversations. And I do see, though, that you could have handled it way differently. You handled it with grace and you were patient with this person. But what this person doesn't realize is, at least from what I see in this reading so far, we'll see. I don't know if a proposal, a peace offering, and I'm sorry is going to be enough. Like for some of you, they would have to say sorry with interest for just of how much this cost you. What do we have here for the ancient souls? Not ancient souls, but you might be an ancient soul. Feel free to go check out the other tarot readings on the other tarot channel. What do we have here for the collective? What do we have here for all zodiac signs? This is the confirmation you needed to hear, or the cross watcher, because we do have observer. So for some of you, it could be also the cross watcher of like, the bigger picture is, let's just keep it at peace. Let's just keep it at things are balanced. Is there going to be a reconciliation? We don't know yet. Let's see. What do we have here for the collective, for all zodiac signs? This is the confirmation you need to hear right now. Why do we have call, proposal, apology? Oof, starting off. Yeah, this person's lucky. Let me tell you, this person is lucky that you chose the higher route, because if they came up, I'm going to mention this. Look at that judgment here. I'm thinking of an old, like, soul tribe member of mine that and it was actually like told to me, but some of you may need to hear this. It was a high priestess that one day said, and this was years ago, people actually choose you to learn lessons with because it could be way worse with other people. And not that this is truth for you, but it kind of feels like truth, at least in this particular situation in reading, where it's just like, oh, this could have been way different, but you chose someone who chooses grace. But let's just let you know that if you try anybody else, it wasn't going to work like that. Where I actually went to a gun range recently. Don't ask. I went to a gun range, and we got there a little bit late. We just read the wrong timing, and they said, we just want you to know that you guys are lucky and that nobody else gets this treatment. So for some of you, this person, what they did, they kind of got to realize how much grace you gave them in this situation. Okay. Now, we're starting off with the Eight of Swords here. For the collective, this is the confirmation you need to hear. Why do we have call, proposal, apology, and gossip? Why the Eight of Swords for apology and gossip? Why the Eight of Swords for apology and gossip? Oof. Why the outcome here? What is the outcome of this reading of? This is the confirmation you need to hear today. What is the outcome of the Eight of Swords and the Three of Wands? What is the outcome for the Eight of Swords and the Three of Wands for apology and gossip? What is the outcome here? Oh, the Devil card. Man. Where is the collective's energy in this reading? The collective of all signs. Where is the collective's energy in this reading for apology, gossip? Where is the collective's energy in this reading? Why the Knight of Wands and the World card? What is the collective's energy in this reading of apology and gossip? They deserve it. I will say that. The only reason they came against you, and I said came against you for some of you. Did they come against you? How dare they? You're someone, oh, this reading is taking a little bit of a turn, not in a bad way. This person, I will say, they actually deserve the fire. They really do. And this is kind of confirming where I said, I gave the example rather of a high priestess that once told me, Jocelyn, people choose you to learn lessons through grace because it could be way different with other people. This reading is actually proving that where for some of you, this person chose to learn this lesson with you through grace because, let me tell you, you go to anybody else, 144 as I look at the clock. It would have been clocked differently, okay? Where you're showing up as Aries, Leo, Sag, but here's the thing. You're showing up as someone who has a lot of fire, a lot of power. You actually have the power to destroy this person, to be quite honest with you. There's a little bit here of choosing not to. Archangel Raphael can also resonate with you. For some reason, Archangel Raphael is coming through very strongly in this reading. I'm seeing it in the corner over here, where it usually represents the 4 archangels or the 4 directions, but it does feel like it's Archangel Raphael energy here. You can't afford to use karmic energy in that way. And that's not going to resonate with everyone. And this could even be the type of thing of oh, you see, that person didn't do anything. That person, and that might have been part of it with the gossip of they're not, be careful. This person is, the collective is quiet. They're quiet for a reason, right? The collective I'm speaking to today, you might be quiet for a reason. Don't, this, you're the bear, do not poke the bear. This person poked the bear. But it's interesting in this reading. You really could have destroyed this person. You really could have. But you chose to use your power differently. This person, and that's the key thing here, where you're actually mirroring one another. Or this person's doing all this energy. You're not matching their energy. But God forbid, that's what this person, they better recognize, For some of you, the song Recognize by Pardon, that's not, that it has anything to do with this, but you better recognize when you see the collective that this could have gone really differently. This reading is very interesting. I haven't done a reading like this in some time or before. Today's readings, all of them were whoa, I haven't done a reading like this before. The energy, collective. See, what this person doesn't realize is they're actually mirroring. But while this person's doing all this, whoever they think you are, that person is. You're not in the shadow. They are. Gossip is a shadow. Spreading rumors, avoiding conversations and avoiding conflict to just spread rumors, that's a shadow, baby, right there. That's a shadow. Smearing your image, making you the fool, while this person is gossiping, not coming up to you at all, not trying to resolve the conflict or the situation, that's very shadowy. And so that's the thing where whatever they were saying, they are the devil card that they claim you to be. You weren't gossiping. You never matched their energy. Inner conflict. Free will. We all have choices. And I will say, you taught this person a very deep lesson. You chose not to stoop down to their level. But here's the key thing. You'll know this reading is for you is part of it is this type of reading is you don't know who you are talking to. That's what this reading is saying, where collective, God forbid you match their energy, that would have been it. Where this reader is actually saying, no, I cannot match your energy. Because if I match your energy, I'm about to end this whole war, this whole thing. This person could try to start a war, you will end the whole thing, and so that's what this reading is saying here. where this person actually really kind of picked the wrong one, but you were the one. You're not the one, but you were the one that they did pick. Part of it is you understand your power. And so you actually wouldn't match their energy because you understand your power. And what I'm seeing here is a lot of like the fire lower energy, you know, where it's like gossip and fear and this and that. And with you, it's just kind of like, whoa, I've been there, I've done that. This person was like kind of trying to pick a fight with someone whose hands are like closed out. Like, you know, that saying, that term, and your hands are like, that's what this is here. You're someone who's actually mastered the shadow they're trying to throw at you. And you're actually like, you're being so nice throughout it all too. Where like they're doing all this stuff and you're actually looking at them from the bigger picture. You're looking at them from a divine mother, father perspective. You know, like a parent would never match the energy of a child. That's really what I'm seeing here. You know, like when like I have mentioned that I have a 7-year-old. And so like when your 7-year-old is, you know, like walking away from you, an attitude, like you don't match their energy. You are stronger. You're stronger, you're wiser, you're older, you have more experience, etc. And that's actually what this reading is saying. So interesting here. Okay. I will say they want to make an apology for the gossip, for the collective here. This is the confirmation you need to hear. Well, this is a very specific reading, okay? So this definitely is for someone out there. It's very specific. So it is the confirmation that you need to hear today. What do we have for the collective for apology and gossip for the 8 of Swords? 2 of Wands choices. Why 8 of Swords and the 2 of Wands for apology and gossip? Why 8 of Swords and the 2 of Wands for apology, gossip, the bigger picture, love? It could have been a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Why the 8 of Swords and the 2 of Wands for love, patience, gossip, apology? And then we have Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. So you could be a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. You could also be dealing with a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, vice versa. What is this 8 of Swords here for gossip, apology, love, and patience? Why the 8 of Swords here and the Sun card? Why the Sun card, the 7 of Wands, and the 8 of Swords for apology and gossip? You do have justice here. Why the 3 of Wands for apology and gossip? Why the 3 of Wands for apology and gossip? And then why the Devil card and the 7 of Cups for the outcome here? Why the Devil card and the 7 of Cups for apology and gossip? I will say by the end of this, though, it's not touching you. This person is, not that they're an illusion. I don't want to necessarily say that. But it's the kind of thing of like, why would you do that? Yeah, this is like, say, like, again, like a 7-year-old that try, like, you know, and you're like the parent, you know, and they're like kicking and screaming and like on the floor, even like say pushing you, things like that. You're not going to match their energy, you know, where it's clear, like, okay, sit down, you know, let's get through this, that kind of thing. You had to expand beyond or transcend this situation. Knight of Wands, there goes that energy again of yours, and then the 7 of Swords. You know what's worth your energy, what's not worth your energy. This was not worth your energy at all. Why the Knight of Wands and the Seven of Swords and the Three of Wands for apology and gossip? This was the type of situation where it's like, this is not even worth it. This is really silly. It's even just silly to be dealing with this situation where someone was but they're coming from such like a place of not knowing what they're talking about kind of thing. Like, that's what I will say here. This person, like, they don't know what they're talking about. They're just completely wrong about you. I'll give another example of kind of what's showing here too. I was talking about Amazon Prime earlier in the email newsletter, so Amazon Prime. Say you work for Amazon and you get hired and someone who's been there for 10 years says, well, this is how things go. And this person then starts just like an argument with that person, you know, the person that trained them or everyone. Just like, this needs to stop, it needs to change, blah, 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 you know, but like they're just wrong though, you know, where it's just like, yo, this is your first day. Like, you need 3 more weeks of training and then you'll understand as to why it operates the way it operates. That kind of thing here, where it was just some sort of situation of someone focused on you, someone who was gossiping about you, petty conversations, but it was completely karmic and illusionary. 2 of Swords and then the 5 of Swords over here. This is someone who self-sabotaged a situation. But it's interesting where I'm seeing there's something about it of like not knowing how things work. It almost feels like someone tried to question you, but like, again, like it was just silly. And not that they're silly. We're not trying to demean what this person is saying or how they were feeling at all. But it was the kind of thing of like, it's silly because you can easily give a whole explanation as to why. And this person like was just causing issue and gossip and this and that. For the collective, for the outcome here, for apology and gossip. Why the Devil card and the 7 of Cups for apology and gossip? Why the Devil card? Your success is for you alone. Some of you just need to hear that. Your success is for you alone. The Emperor card. Yeah, where that could be it. You know, we're like, say, you know, for some of you, if this is, say, career, employer, you could be training someone, you could be working with someone, etc. And now it's also a beautiful thing to be curious and to ask questions. But there's a difference between like an innocent asking questions, which is something, say, like I would encourage for myself, for my child, for everyone, right? We should always be curious. This is though someone who's just causing issues and problems. There's the deep discernment of which one it is. This is someone, but why? But why? But, you know, but I'll be honest, they don't even want to hear the explanation. They don't. They don't care. You know, this is just someone who's just kind of, I almost want to say causing issues. You're very protected here. That's what this is showing too. With the 9 of Wands and the 7 of Swords. I think I said something in the beginning of the reading of something along the lines of you're quiet. Oh, be careful of like what did I say? Quiet but powerful, or something along those lines. Now, you're not sneaky here with the 7 of Swords, but you've been through things. You've even questioned the things that this person maybe has questioned or questioning. For the collective here, why the Knight of Wands and the 7 of Swords here? Why the Knight of Wands and the 7 of Swords? You're not stupid. And again, I am not at all saying that this person is like stupid. I will say they're a little bit silly. You're a silly goose in this reading, but not stupid. You know, where you're not stupid, collective. And you're not sneaky either, but you're also someone that will observe something and like, I'm not feeding into that. I'm not responding at all, actually. You won't waste your time or your energy because you're focused on the 10 of Pentacles, legacy, wealth. This is the wealthiest card in the deck. You are not going to, that's what I said in the beginning of this reading. This is an energy that they don't realize that they were the devil card. They're someone who are trying to tempt you to get into like some sort of conflict. But they don't realize that they're even doing that to you because they don't see their own shadow. You're someone that you've either been through a lot, you've experienced a lot. And you also know what it means to hold success. And this 10 of Pentacles, which means I am not responding to you because you are not worth, bringing instability to this foundation, to my life, your business, whatever it may be for you. You know when to lift the sword and when to not lift the sword. And I will say, though, this is someone who they self-sabotage a little here. And I'll say this is like cutting out, though, with the Two of Swords. Being cut out. Why the Devil card, the Seven of Cups, clarified by the Two of Swords and the Five of Swords. Yeah, it's being cleared out here. Where this is somebody who, like, say maybe tries to bring issues sometimes to other people, and then they end up in a 10 of Swords. Yeah, and so this is the confirmation you need. Past, present, or future do not match this person's energy. We have Six of Wands and the Hermit card. This is like you keeping your success to yourself. You're not allowing anyone in to infiltrate. Let's see what card this was. Temperance card. Peace, patience, balance. Why the Six of Wands and the Hermit card here? Why the Six of Wands and the Hermit card? No, you're prepared. Look at that, Queen of Swords here. You are prepared for people in situations like this, where that's what people don't see. Or this person was your devil card, but they thought they were the Jesus Christ Savior kind of thing, where you keep your success to yourself, victory to yourself, your business, your whatever to yourself here. Or you're someone who's a little bit more private, more reserved. This reading also gives someone who's had a foundation or a business for some time. You've had something successful for time. And with time comes experience. And so because you've had something successful for some time, like you've seen it all. You've seen the people that do this and do that. And, because you've seen all the different types of situations, it's like, well, I'm not going to feed energy into that one. I've seen that before. And it doesn't matter even if the Tower card comes your way, where that's what this person thought they were going to be your Tower card. You're in your power, Ace of Wands. So this is your power, your ashe. Ace of Wands is also the card of like a new beginning, a new start. With the Tower card over here, the Tower card can only destroy falsehood. The Tower card can only destroy, again, falsehood, false foundations, etc. What this is showing is you've been successful at something for some time. Even if it's just simply yourself and the relationship that you have with yourself. Whatever this is here, it's a strong foundation. And so for someone to start gossip and spreading rumors and petty conversations, it's just like, well, I've been doing this I've been in this rodeo. Sorry, I've been doing impressions all day with my voice. You've been in this rodeo for like 10, 20 years, kind of thing, And so, yeah, like say this is someone, where it's like 2 years, 3 years. They can actually learn from you. But they decided to attack you. But to be honest, this is someone, though, that like you would have given tips to, advice to, etc. And I will say they were wrong here, and they do want to apologize, but with everything I'm sharing with you in this reading, I don't know if you're going to kind of let them back in. All right, what's the advice for the collective on apology and gossip? What's the advice for apology and gossip? I think it's done. Knight of Cups over here, Death card. Why the Knight of Cups and the Death card for apology and gossip? I think you're done, okay? Because you were showing up as the Queen of Wands here, Aries, Leo, Sag, and then the Four of Cups, where you're kind of more in this energy of thank you for the lesson, but that's it. Thank you for the lesson. And I'm not going to go through that again. I don't see any part of you that wants to let this person back in. All right, Ace of Coins on the bottom of the deck. What else do we have for the collective on spreading rumors, apology? You have patience twice, okay? This person, they chose you because you are patient when it comes to learning this lesson. All right, so you are a patient person. Perception, creativity, positive expectations and clarity. All right, where it does say the cosmos, vastness, you know, like being in the void. And so it's all about perception. And this person maybe is surprised to see your perception when it comes to something, or, you know, for you to have positive expectations here. But yeah, you tried to see, I will say you tried to see this situation from a very positive perspective, the eyes of beauty. All right, and that's what this is showing, is you really tried to see, look at that, hitting the mark, intention, detachment. You know, you detached from the situation. And so you actually taught this person, though, a lesson in that sense, where it's like, well, I'm only going to see you through the eyes of love. I don't care what you're saying behind my back. I don't care what you think behind my back. I'm going to remain in my energy and detach from the situation. And that's what happened here. Spirit communication, paying attention on the bottom of the deck. What else do we have for the collective on gossip and apology? What is the advice for gossip and apology? Oh, there's a new cycle, but we do have storm warning. Why the World card and storm warning for apology and gossip for advice? Adjacent possibilities. You know, where the storm warning could also just be that person, Jesus, healer of the ages over here, where yeah, the storm warning, it could be this person, what's happened with this person. You're walking away into a new cycle, all right? And you're walking through a different door over here, you know, away from this person. It feels like focused on different things, but this person, you know, might be reflecting upon you, all right? So that's what I have for you. I do hope that it resonates in a positive way. I'm sending you all so much love and so many blessings to your day. And as soon as the reading's about to go out, the throat chakra. Okay, so this person definitely has something to share with you, but I will say, I don't know if you would even respond. Okay, that's what I have for you. I do hope that it resonates. I'm sending you all so much love.